The second thing that Buzzsprout does better than anyone else in the podcasting hosting space is content marketing. And by content marketing, I mean creating things for the internet. Content is such an overused word nowadays, but audio content in the form of podcasts, written content in the form of blogs, newsletters, and video content, whether it's YouTube or webinars or trainings, things like that. And the reason that Buzzsprout brought me on again to begin with was to start creating a lot of these things and setting up these systems and starting to take advantage of these channels. Because your customers and your prospects are already spending time online. And if they're at any stage in the prospect's journey of becoming a customer of a company, and you hope they become a customer of your company, then there's going to be questions that they have. There's going to be things that they don't know yet because they're brand new to this whole process. And so at Buzzsprout, the number one thing that people would type into a Google search bar or YouTube or anything like that is how to start a podcast. That is the search phrase that indicates this person is interested in looking to start a podcast. Buzzsprout as a company is pretty well positioned to take care of that person, but they don't just have that question. They have all kinds of other questions, like how do I find music that I can safely use in my show without getting sued? How do I get into Spotify? How do I get into Apple Podcasts and get my show listed there? How do I actually record and edit a podcast episode? What kind of gear, microphone do I need? And so part of Buzzsprout's approach to marketing is answering all of those questions along the way. So that way, when someone gets to the end of that journey and says, I'm ready to start a podcast, Buzzsprout becomes their choice. Buzzsprout becomes the software that they use to host their podcast because they're the ones that have been helping them along the whole journey. So of course, they've built up the expertise and the credibility to say, hey, if they can know all these answers, chances are they're going to know all the answers to the questions I have in the future. And they understand the things that I'm trying to figure out. And so there's an implicit trust and a deferment towards, hey, if you know all the answers to these questions, then chances are the product that you've built is pretty awesome and going to serve my needs exceptionally well. But by expanding the amount of entry points into your business, where you're not just creating one lead magnet or one blog that's how to do X and then hoping everyone comes through there, is really identifying what are the 50 to 100 questions that people have about my industry, about the kinds of businesses that I'm competing against, about my niche, about the problems that I'm solving, and creating answers for each of those things as a way of getting in front of your ideal customer and your ideal prospect when they're in the process of trying to decide what service they need, and even answering those questions before they know they need a service. So if we're taking podcasting as an example, when someone types in how to start a podcast, the chances that they know that they need an independent service that can store their audio files on a cloud-based server and then distribute them to Apple Podcasts and Spotify, very, very small. They don't have the information or the knowledge to know like that is a thing that I need to know about or be concerned with. All they want to know is, how do I get from point A to point B? And so if you can really lay out what that customer journey looks like from when they first start the process of searching and discovery and learning about how to do whatever it is that you do, and then start answering all those questions along the way, the much better off your marketing will be, because now you're going to be attacking it from angles that are overlooked by your competitors, right? So for instance, at one point in time, Buzzsprout had a blog called How to Submit Your Podcast to Spotify. And it was so popular because this was right at the time when Spotify was getting into the podcasting game. It feels like ages ago, but there was a point in time where it was brand new. The Buzzsprout blog was ranking above Spotify's own blog post, like the actual Spotify website on how to get listed in the show. And so imagine all the people that are searching for this, how to get listed in Spotify, how to get listed in Spotify, how to get listed in Spotify. And Buzzsprout shows up as, hey, we know how to answer this question for you. And by the way, did you also know that you need all of these other things in order to get into Spotify? We do all those things. If you need help, use our service. So that is where content marketing can really set your business apart from your competitors, where it's not just, again, the blocking and tackling of having a lead capture page or a lead magnet and automated email sequence and SEO and those kind of things, but really partnering with your prospects and your customers before they become your customers to help them through the journey. And in addition to creating all of that content and allowing it to grow organically, Buzzsprout does use Google Ads to specifically boost blog posts and feature pages and things like that, where there's a very easy correlation between an intent to sign up for a service like Buzzsprout, but it's not necessarily directly the keyword. So how to start a podcast is becoming a much more competitive keyword to go after, because it's kind of common knowledge that that's where somebody starts their journey. And so you'll have a lot of people competing on that. But how to submit your podcast to Spotify, for instance, might be a cheaper keyword to go after if you're using Google Ads. But someone who is in the process of trying to get a show they've recorded into Spotify may still be in a position where, hey, I need actually a podcast hosting software or platform to use. And so Buzzsprout then becomes the choice. And so you can also make your ad dollars stretch farther if you start going after less competitive keywords, and you're not just driving traffic to a sign-up page, but you're driving traffic to content that someone can consume to answer a question. And guess what? It's on the website. We're right there at the top of the website. You have like a sign up for free, or a check out our plans, or about, or services, or features, or whatever it is, right? So these are just all these different ways that you can diversify the way traffic is coming to you and your business, and then partnering with your prospects to help them get to a place where they can make a really informed buying decision. And so the second thing that Buzzsprout does exceptionally well is content marketing, and not just in one area or sphere. The YouTube channel has over 80,000 subscribers. The blog is one of the top blogs in the podcasting space in the world. And they've done a really great job of optimizing it to make sure it stays that way. And then also podcast audio content, right? That they have shows for podcasting, how to start a podcast, probably one of the most downloaded podcasts about podcasting in the world on a per episode basis. Well, hey there. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Honest Marketing Podcast. If you want to watch the entire episode, you can click right here and watch it right now. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you get new videos every single week.